There were two friendly matches yesterday we have to talk about. Now, what even is a friendly match? A friendly match? Because if you're a professional footballer, you make it to that level, naturally you are ultra competitive. And so you're not going into this game to make friends. You're not going into this to even have a good time. You're going into it to win the game. And that's exactly what James McClean and I guess Levi Colwill did yesterday in the Chelsea versus Wrexham friendly match in the USA. It's a great promotional game. It helps both teams get ready for their seasons. Chelsea with a new manager, Enzo Maresca. He's been doing really well. Obviously managed with Pep Guardiola, which is like a cheat code to becoming a great manager at this point. We saw it with Mikel Arteta. Now we're seeing it with Enzo Maresca. He managed Leicester City last year. Now he's with Chelsea after Pochettino got sacked. And he's got to unlock this team just like Mauricio Pochettino seemed to do in the last couple of weeks of the season last year. Wrexham, on the other hand, continue to climb the table in the English tier system, going from non-league to National League to EFL League 2 to EFL League 1 now, finishing second behind Stockport last year. And after a 1-1 draw with Bournemouth just a few days ago, they seem like they could honestly keep this going and get into the EFL Championship by next season if they can honestly continue to play as well as they are right now. Chelsea obviously coming out with some starters and some of their youth players, some young guys who probably aren't going to see too many minutes this season. But 2 minutes into this game, Levi Colwill has the ball at left back, and James McClean decides that he's going to put in a unnecessary challenge. Now, here's the thing about friendly matches. If you've ever played a friendly match at an amateur or at a professional level, you'll understand that it's honestly less friendly than league matches. These friendly matches are games in which players can blow their top so quickly and they just lose their head. And I think it's for two reasons. One, you come into this game with kind of an expectation that there's not going to be any dumb challenges. And the worst thing that can happen in a friendly match is somebody gets injured, right? Because you're preparing for your season. You don't want somebody to get hurt. That would be the worst possible outcome from a friendly match. So there's kind of an unspoken rule where you're not supposed to go into any dumb challenges. But when it comes to competitiveness of the game, especially as it goes on, I mean, you just want to play football. You don't want to be thinking twice about which challenges you go into, which challenges you don't go into. And so it's just a very blurry line that some players just disagree on how far is too far. And, well, when it comes to the second minute of the match, I kind of side with Levi Colwill on this one because James McClean decided he was going to come in and McClean Levi Colwill out with an unnecessary, he kind of stuck out his leg, hip checked him, pretty far after Levi Colwill had released the ball. Now, it was a good trigger to press Levi Colwill, and Levi Colwill probably held on to it a little bit longer, but he's a professional center back at, one of the highest levels that there is in football, playing in the Premier League for a big club like this. He was probably not going to be losing that ball, even if he may have held on to it too long. James McClean just came up and hit him for no reason. And so when Levi Colwill pushed him away, James McClean pushed back. And after that, you can see this is exactly what happened. Levi Colwill grabbed James McClean by the shirt and gave him a few words. After that, it led to James McClean getting his shirt pulled over his face like he's a toddler. And in this scenario, especially in the era of VAR, I mean, in any match, this is going to be a red card. It's hands to the face. You're not going to get away with it. But in this match, no red card. And I agree with it. Let the boys play, all right? A little scuffle in the second match. And here's the deal. It's a friendly match. Nobody wants to be playing 10v10 in a friendly match when it's there to help you learn tactics, there to help you build the chemistry with your team, work on things that you're going to need for the season. And when you have to go down to 10 men for 88 minutes of the friendly match, it really throws things through a loop, especially for a brand new manager like Enzo Maresca, who has to really hone in on things, because I'll be honest with you, it was some pretty ugly football between Chelsea and Wrexham on both ends, and Wrexham can kind of, take advantage of that. But all four goals that were scored in this game were really not the prettiest of goals. Wrexham really couldn't distribute very well. They couldn't get out of their final third, and so Chelsea's goals came off of the counter press and just getting chance after chance after chance. And then for Wrexham, it was the lack of ability to build out the back from Chelsea and just losing the ball in stupid areas. And that's exactly how Wrexham took control of this game. They were up 2-1 going late into the match, and Chelsea took a later equalizer to even draw this game. And Wrexham just tied Bournemouth 1-1 the other day, so putting up some good results against some Premier League teams. But as I mentioned, it wasn't the only match of the day, because Bayern Munich played their, what seems to be an annual thing at this time, a preseason friendly against Rottach Egern. Rottach Egern in Bayern Munich is always a nail-biter. It is a very back-and-forth affair. The bookies never know which way this game is going to go. So when one of the most decorated football clubs in the history of world football, two-time treble winning in the last decade, Bayern Munich, go up against ninth-tier German team Rottach Egern, you would expect the game to end 27-0, which it did 2 years ago. But Rottach Egern lost just 23-0 last year. So slight improvement from 2 years ago to last year. They're looking to build on that momentum this year in an iconic friendly match between the two sides. And I'll tell you what, they didn't disappoint, because take a look at that scoreline in the 24th minute of the game. Now ignore the ball in the back of the net for a second. 0-0 at 23:35, okay? So their goalkeeper for Rottach Egern went off in this match. His name is Mario Weiss, and it's a match that is meant for a goalkeeper. It's a paradise for a goalkeeper, because one, you're going to get a lot of action. You're playing against Bayern Munich. Two, if you get scored on 27 times, nobody's going to blame you. You're playing against Bayern Munich. However, if you make some incredible saves like this guy did for the first 23 minutes of the match, and then honestly, he made some pretty good saves throughout the match, then you might get some looks for like a 8th division, maybe 7th division team could be looking at Mario Weiss. I hope he gets his big money move. But pretty impressive for them to last 24 minutes against Bayern Munich, which is something that, honestly, Barcelona haven't been able to do every single time they play Bayern Munich. So shout out to Rottach Egern. Can they beat Barcelona this year? That is the question. But I want you to look at the scoreline, and I want you to look at the minute. Pay attention to it. Are you ready for this next picture? And bang. So it went from, quite literally, 0-0 in the 24th minute to 4-1 in the 28th. And yes, Rottach Egern fucking scored a goal. They scored against Bayern Munich because Eric Dyer was on the field. Just straight up. Eric Dyer lost the ball at the back. May have been a handling on the striker for Rottach Egern, but we let the boys play, as we said. And Rottach Egern get themselves on the board. You can see them kind of celebrating here on the side. It's 4-1. And so, as a Bayern Munich fan, you really have to be, sirens have to be going off in your head. Red alarms have to be going off in your head. Is it Kompany out? Is it Vincent Kompany out? Because you've given him his due diligence, his time at this club, and this is the results he's bringing. All right, they went from 27-0 to 23-0 without Vincent Kompany. Now 14-1. 14-1, that's it. That's all Vincent Kompany is bringing to this club. So obviously Vincent Kompany out is trending on Twitter now, and the media criticism is absolutely warranted. You really have to question whether he's the right man for this job, because if they're winning 27-0 2 years ago and it's only 14-1 now, I mean, what more does it take to sack this guy? I mean, you've given him long enough. Bayern Munich fans, enough is enough. Kompany out. That's where I stand. Either way, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel. Drop a like, and I'll see you in the next one.